On to NTA Nationwide. My name is Femi Johnson. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has stated the resolve of the federal government to re-establish the integrity of the country by urgently harnessing its abundant potentials for the good of the citizenry. He stated this while receiving the president of the International Civil Aviation Organization, Dr. Bernard Aliyu. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as worrisome that for decades Nigeria continues to talk about her great human and material resources without any significant steps towards harnessing them for public good. He said under his watch, the country will not remain permanently at a level of potentials. The president said if Ethiopia can be largely sustained by her airline industry, Nigeria, with greater potentials, ought to have been more developed in critical sectors than it is today. He regretted that for the greater part of the last 16 years, crude oil sold for above $100 per barrel, but the nation did not have much to show for it due to lack of discipline and careful planning in the management of the economy. President Buhari said this time around, his administration will do its best to rebuild the country with more enduring infrastructure. The Nigerian-born ICAO president, Dr. Bernard Aliyu, who expressed delight over the genuine commitment of the federal government to fighting corruption and transforming the country, urged Nigeria to use the opportunity to also pay attention to the development of civil aviation as catalyst for economic development. While pledging his support in that regard, Dr. Aliyu, however, said steps must be taken by the government to enhance training and capacity development, aviation security, aerodromes, air navigation, runways, and terminal buildings. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, says the federal government is proposing establishing mobile cards as a major component of the nation's electoral reform. These, among other propositions, came up at the Nigeria Civil Society Stakeholders Forum on the amendment of the Electoral Act in Abuja. Kemi Fakeye is back with the details.
Though the 2015 general election in Nigeria was adjudged successful both at national and international levels, it was suggested that the electoral process should be transparent, competitive, all-inclusive, and violence-free to consolidate the nation's democracy.
And INEC needs to come out, prosecute its electoral officers who have been alleged to be involved in electoral malpractices. If you don't prosecute your own staff, it then means you are promoting and defending your staff who have subverted the process.
But I think the behavior and the attitude of, in particular, those who contest elections should be looked at in a very critical way by all electoral stakeholders and by the Nigerian public at large.
Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, expressed worry that the electoral process has been characterized by violence in Nigeria in the recent time, while the Attorney General of the Federation said the laws of the land should be strengthened to punish electoral offenders.
But how do we deal with violence in our elections? What reforms do we intend to introduce to stem the tide? What mechanisms can we put in place? I agree with the proposition that INEC needs to go back to the drawing board and review our security architecture jointly with the security agencies. Committees were set up, but what happens to the reports of the committees?
This administration intends to carry out a comprehensive legal reform to address the challenges posed by some of our outdated electoral laws. We have also identified as top priority the amendment of the Electoral Act and other laws in order to empower INEC and other similar bodies to deal with perpetrators of serious offenses.
In their goodwill messages, the Chairman House Committee on Electoral Matters, Aisha Duku, members of the civil society groups and development partners suggested a formidable legislative agenda to ensure the amendment of the nation's electoral acts. In Abuja, Kemi Fakeye, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says plans are underway to host a national summit on culture to help reposition the sector and also place it on the path of a sustainable revenue generating platform. The minister stated this at a meeting with the British Council Country Director in Abuja. Let's join Anthony Forson.
The summit, the minister explained, has become necessary given the federal government's determination to diversify the economy.
To further this agenda, we in the Ministry of Information and Culture have been putting in place measures to fast-track the diversification agenda in the culture and tourism sectors. One of such measures is to critically assess veritable avenues of using culture to drive tourism in order to achieve a significant boost in the vast tourism potentials of the country.
He assured that the partnership with British Council is a positive move to leverage on the depth of the Council's experience in that sector.
In this regard, let me commend the British Council for being very proactive. I've seen the schedule of proposed activities for 2016 under our planned collaboration, which was drawn up by the Council. The activities, which are considered very rich, include the assessment of creative industries, understanding the festival scene in Nigeria, the Creative Economy Conference and Expo, stakeholders meeting, mapping of creative industries in Kano, and the capacity building workshop for festival managers in Nigeria.
On her part, the British Council Country Director Colin Price expressed gratitude for the partnership, saying British Council is ready to assist Nigeria's creative industry on specific actions the government is embarking upon for the progress of the nation. The three-day summit will hold in Abuja later this month. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And hope is rising for the return of the millions of internally displaced Nigerians to their homes and communities as the planning for the rebuilding of the northeastern states affected by insurgency has advanced significantly. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity to the Vice President Laulu Akonde on the outcome of an assessment and validation exercise in Abuja says international development partners and donors reiterated their commitment towards ensuring that key findings of the assessment are implemented. It states that the joint effort will now be directed to prioritizing the needed interventions and projects with the initial projection of $6 billion for immediate and near-term stabilization and recovery of the region. The United Nations, European Union, and the World Bank commended the federal government and also reiterated the commitment to support and the financing of the Northeast reconstruction, including an offer by the World Bank to make available $800 million towards the rebuilding. The statement adds that the 3-volume report of the Nigeria Recovery and Peace-Building Assessment recommended a strategic plan of 2 years for stabilization and a recovery phase of 2 years to run concurrently, covering such areas as agriculture, housing, transportation, and education. The Minister of Interior Affairs, General Abdurrahman Dambazawa, said his vision for the Nigerian police coincides with that of the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, as the police remains at the center stage of Nigeria's unity. Bonaventure Nwodo has the report.
The minister made the commendation at a dinner held to round off the police games and week.
His vision, the kind of police he wants to see, is the kind of police I also want to see. With the amount of effort he has put in, and I'm sure there have been change automatically, it suits into the government agenda of the change mantra.
Inspector General of Police thanked the supporters and organizers of the event and had interaction with Nigerians.
This event was conceptualized to recognize and appreciate personalities in public and corporate and private sectors that have over the years demonstrated consistent support towards the attainment of our policing vision.
The essence of celebrating the Police Week is for us to look at where we are coming from, where we are, and where we intend to be.
Others commended the police leadership and called for sustained tempo by the current administration on policing.
The thrust of this administration has been to key into the partnership with the community, and I think that has actually been a huge success. We've been able to actually garner the support of the members of the community, the public, as our key partners, and I think it's been wonderful, really.
I think it's clear, okay, that the quality of respect by police, by Nigerian police to human rights, it's clear it's improving, and they are also working on it.
Abuja, Bonaventure Wood, NTA News.
You are still on to NTA Nationwide, and Lagos Network Center is our first port of call. Vera is our guide. Hello, Vera.
Thank you, Femi. Good to have you join us here in Lagos. Good evening. Nigerian youths are being advised to channel their energy into productive ventures and shun peer pressure, which is capable of inspiring criminal tendencies in them. The Lagos State Commissioner for Police, Fatai Owosheni, gave the advice at a career counseling event organized by the State Police Command to encourage community policing. Voluntary police club for selected students from various schools across the metropolis was also introduced to them. Musa Toliat has the details.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosheni, said the event is born out of the need to re-emphasize community policing, strengthen police public relations, and encourage students to join voluntary police club, which will be introduced to schools.
The voluntary policing unit, which we've started a long time ago, and we think also that if we expand and extend it to schools, they'll be able to send information out, they'll be able to quickly alert the police.
The State Command spokesperson, Superintendent of Police, Dolapo Badmus, urged the students to repose a high level of confidence in the capability of the police to protect lives and property.
So if you have any problem in Lagos and you put on your phone, you call 767. What number did I say you should call?
The evolution of the Nigerian police force was an integral part of the information imparted on the participants.
You can say that the job of the police is crime prevention, detection, protection of life and property.
High point of the event was a session of memory verse performed by some of the students. Some of the participants spoke to NTA News.
Most times when we put the blames on the Nigerian police, it's not actually their fault, because the citizens of the country too have to play their roles.
The event, with a theme, Police is Your Friend, also featured some entertainment sessions to spice up the gathering. In Lagos, Musa Tolia, NTA News.
The Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Babatunde Adejare, says the state government has a three-phase flood management plan for the rainy season. This is to ensure that challenges associated with the season, especially intense rains and flooding, are effectively managed. Jennifer Igwe reports that the plans include sensitization, awareness campaigns, and pre, during, and post-flood control initiatives.
Clogging of drainage channels as a result of wrong disposal of waste and silting of canals and gutters are some of the factors that aggravate the impact of the rainy season and wreak havoc in Lagos State. To address this and minimize the various challenges that characterize the rainy season, the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, Babatunde Adejare, says massive desilting, clearing, expansion and construction of drainage channels are ongoing and would be intensified before, during and after the rainy season.
We are going to do it effectively. We are going to desilt and cut away. We are not going to desilt and leave them there. During the rain too, we will monitor our neighbors to make sure that people are not emptying their dustbin into the drain.
The commissioner says the state government also has plans to evacuate and rehabilitate flood victims at designated resettlement centers. This notwithstanding, he advised those in flood-prone areas and on floodplains to start making plans now on where and how to relocate during the rainy season. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
And these are the stories from the Lagos Network Center at this hour. It's back to you.
Thank you, Vera. The current zero oil plan by the federal government has been described as a giant leap towards creating alternative sources of revenue for Nigeria. This was part of submissions by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Abdul Malik Adiu has the details.
The current zero oil plan of the federal government identifies 11 strategic export products with huge financial value to replace oil in Nigeria. The list includes products from agriculture such as palm oil, cocoa, soya beans, rubber and cotton. Experts on the program stressed the need to scale up production in the non-oil sector to facilitate growth and job creation.
The key to the success of the zero oil plan will be access to funding. Funding that will be at affordable rate. Now, the policy and opportunity provided by the central bank under this 500 billion naira facility, it has a cap of a 9% interest figure, which is single digit. And it will apply to brownfield, going concerns, as well as greenfield ventures, which have potentials for foreign exchange earnings.
Because I'm in support of the one state, one product scheme. And in fact, I want to tell you that there are some states that can even give more than 3 products. And when you do it and organize it well, maybe go on the cluster scheme where these things are well organized, they are given the proper incentive. You see, they can graduate from that cluster level into the export processing zones of free trade zones.
Executive Secretary, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Segun Awolowo, says the initiative has a long-term goal of earning over $100 billion from non-oil exports, which translates into 20% of the country's gross domestic product.
But when compared to export to GDP ratios of other emerging market countries, it's reasonable. China is 24%, Brazil is 12%, South Africa 31%, and Malaysia, because fully export country, is 76%. So it's something that we can achieve. We also need to retool our incentives we're giving to exporters.
The discussant also stressed the need for synergy, proper monitoring and continuous education to heighten awareness across the value chain in the quest to realize the dream of the zero oil plan and export revolution in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Adio, NTA News.
In another development, participants at a one-day debate on food scarcity in Nigeria have urged the federal government to also remove subsidy on all petroleum products. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that they say this will provide long-term solution to food scarcity.
Government says there is subsidy. We need to check was and is still imported at the international market price.
The speakers, who argued for and against the need for total deregulation of the downstream sector of the oil industry, came to a consensus that the federal government needs to totally remove subsidy to allow investors and competition, as well as curb corruption in the sector.
At the moment, for as long as price fixing remains in place, we are not likely to have investors, wanting to come and compete against the government. And that is where I see Nigerians having a major role to play, to push government, but also to support government in the reform of the sector.
Every time there's scarcity, we do the same thing we always do. We import, and flood the market. But the problem persists. Why are we having repeated scarcity month in, month out? In the past 9 months, we've had 3. That should not be.
It seems that fuel subsidy isn't really working. So maybe what is going to work? And if removing the subsidy or deregulating or whatever is going to get us fuel when we need it, at an affordable time with less suffering on the ordinary citizens, I think it's something we should contemplate.
Short-term measures, they agree, is good, but they want Nigerians to support the federal government's efforts to make life better for our citizens. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And let's also join Kemi at Ibadan Network Center as she brings us another special report on solutions to perennial food scarcity, plus other reports. Over to you, Kemi.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon and welcome to Ibadan.
The Ogbomoso unit of the Federal Road Safety Corps has begun awareness campaign on the use of crash helmet for the motorcyclists to reduce fatality during road crashes. Dayo Gushola reports.
In view of the fatality recorded through road crashes involving motorcycle riders without crash helmet, the Federal Road Safety Corps Ogbomoso unit, in conjunction with commercial motorcyclists, organized this sensitization to create further awareness on the usefulness of crash helmet. According to the unit commandant, this sensitization program will precede strict enforcement with a view to ensuring compliance among the motorcyclists.
Definitely, after sensitization, they expect a lot of arrest.
Some of the executive members of motorcyclist unions said the message passed will be taken to other members.
The benefit of elements for Okada men is for protect. When the accident occurs, the accident will not attract our head. It is very, very important.
The sensitization procession kicked off from Isaleura in Ogbomoso and moved around some major parks and streets in the town. In Ogbomoso, Dayo Gushola, NTA News.
The Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Lasun Yusuf, has assured Nigerians that the National Assembly will support the government to improve the socio-economic condition of the masses through people-oriented legislation. He gave the assurance at Ilobu, Osun State, during the empowerment of people of Oshogbo, Oloruda, Irepodun, Orolu Federal Constituency. Tope Alabi reports.
Items distributed at the Constituency Empowerment Program include about 100 tricycles tagged Keke Lasun Ikolaba for unemployed youths, over 70 sewing machines to assist fashion designers, and about 65 grinding machines distributed mainly to housewives and widows to make a living.
I'm very happy.
He gave all the youth Keke Morua to survive life.
I'm very happy because since the inception of the democracy, I haven't benefited from anything.
Honorable Lasun Yusuf said he would continue to pursue ways geared towards the emancipation of his people.
This will be an inspiration to others who are watching what we are doing today.
Party leaders in the constituency commended Honorable Yusuf for the empowerment program, adding that they would continue to give him maximum support for him to succeed in his present task at the National Assembly. From Ilobu, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
The socio-economic sectors of the country have continued to suffer losses to the lingering petrol scarcity. In this report, correspondent Shola Wahid seeks solution to the perennial problems in the nation's oil sector.
Though the present administration is making efforts to diversify the nation's economy, Nigerians still depend largely on resources from petroleum products. Petrol, diesel, and kerosene remain the energy source of some industrial and domestic activities of Nigerians. Whenever there is scarcity in supply of either or all of these products, such as the ongoing scarcity of petroleum, the nation suffers for it.
We are now employing them, we are begging them to do something about this issue before it gets out of hand.
Some of these major marketers too, when they are giving their allocations, divert it to these independent marketers to sell at higher price. So I think the problem in this country is discipline.
Experts believe that the perennial scarcity is further being encouraged by the lack of capacity to refine the crude being produced locally. What is the way out of the perennial scarcity of petroleum products?
Let anybody who can bring in fuel, let the person bring in fuel. The only thing we need to check is that the quality of the fuel that he or she has brought meet the standard set by DPR.
While the scarcity persists and people spend quality resources queuing for petrol at filling stations, the negative impacts on the time lost searching for the commodity is unimaginable on the economy. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
An undergraduate at a state-owned polytechnic in the southwest has been paraded for alleged kidnap of his 3-year-old niece, alongside other crime suspects arrested in various parts of Oyo State. Correspondent Oyinka Falaromi has the details.
20-year-old Olanyika Taiwo, who claimed to be an ND2 insurance student at a polytechnic, said he kidnapped his 3-year-old niece to generate money from the girl's family to support his education. He said the act was carried out through the help of a friend and kept the girl for 2 days while demanding for 500,000 naira ransom.
This is my sister's husband. Anytime I asked for money, you say he didn't have. And my friend just told me that he know what to do.
Another three Fulani herdsmen were also paraded for kidnapping and allegedly demanded 4 million naira ransom from their victim before luck ran out of them. A suspected 66-year-old fake lawyer was equally paraded alongside other 12 suspects for armed robbery, attempted bank robbery, conspiracy, and stealing.
We had good policing environment. As we are blocking, they are going also to look for other routes. We will not relent.
The police commissioner said the command will continue to review its policing strategy to achieve a relatively crime-free environment for socio-economic development in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Folaranmi, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Femi, it's back to you.
Thank you, Kemi. It's time now for us to pause for some messages. Nationwide continues shortly. Don't go away.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
This week on Airtel Touching Lives, we visit a family that lost their father and 2 mothers, leaving them with nowhere to live. And we meet a family that is struggling to care for their children that suffer from heart conditions.
I don't want to lose my daughter. So Almighty God, please help me. Oh God of Redeemer, God of Reable Redeemer, please come and help me and put my daughter in order.
We must remain steadfast in our commitment to steer this country back to greatness.
He is one of the best brands that we have as a country, and we have to take advantage of that.
Look inwards and see how we'll be able to enhance our resources.
The problem now of Nigeria is man-made. It's just a question of patience and cooperate with the government. Nigeria will go back to those better days.
The man who's leading us, he wouldn't talk much, but he does a lot.
We shall deliver security, jobs, and infrastructure. This is the right of all Nigerians. Our actions will speak for us.
Harnessing Nigeria's technological advancements is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, informative, educative, and engaging. Do not be told. Join us.
Great Nigerian people, great Nigerian products, all made in Nigeria.
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 Nice, made in Nigeria. Quality is guaranteed.
Nice, made in Nigerian good.
Made in Nigeria is where we are going now.
We're going to come to Made in Nigeria TV Expo and Exhibition in April 2016, where go shell for the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Features include grand opening ceremony, live concert, and showcasing of many Ogbonge quality products from our expert manufacturers and states. 5 days of TV Expo and Exhibition for Made in Nigeria products and services. For further inquiries, we're going to contact our contact platforms or visit any NTA station near you. Think international, because our products are going international.
Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're still on to NTA Nationwide, and regular medical checkups, awareness on prevention of deafness, and also access to audiometric equipment have been identified as proactive measures to prevent deafness. Evelyn Badu Ekpo reports that the observation was made at the distribution of audio facility to hearing defects in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
Hearing aids were being distributed to people with hearing disabilities to assist them realize their dreams. Akwa Ibom State Governor, represented by the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Dominic Upong, attributed the increase in hearing defects to lack of awareness and irregular checkup. The State Commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Glory Edet, said government is committed to ameliorate the hardship encountered by people with disabilities. Dr. Edet said the aid is to give the affected persons social inclusion and reduce the cost of treatment. Some of the beneficiaries comment.
We sincerely apologize for the loss of sound on their reports. We hope to bring you back that report in a subsequent bulletin. Wife of the Vice President Dolakbo Shibaju says education of women is key to the social and economic development of Nigeria. She said this at a women empowerment training program in Kaduna. Gloria Tokunwodun reports.
Were assembled in Kaduna and trained in different vocational skills. These skills include soap making and detergents. The 5-day afforded many to have perfected the skills. The wife of the Vice President told the participants to seek knowledge and skill that will improve their socio-economic well-being. She encouraged women to also pay closer attention to the training of their children.
The women are the ones that hold the nation. I want you to ensure that you don't disappoint the nation.
Wife of Kaduna State Governor Hadiza Ahmed El Rufai appreciated the wife of the Vice President and assured her of the readiness of the women trained to put to use what they have learned.
Assure you that, inshallah, they'll make use of everything that they've learned, so that in the future you can be proud of our women of Kaduna State.
Participants of the program showcase what they have learned at the event. In Kaduna, I'm Gloria Tukianwadu, NTA News.
Also, governors of Northwest Zone meet in Kano as Kaduna State Police Command arrest suspects of kidnap. Details of this and more with Suleiman still standing by at our Kaduna Network Center. It's over to you, Suleiman.
Thank you very much, Femi, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center. The Forum of State Governors of Northwest Zone has appealed to Nigerians to continue praying for the success of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The governors that held a meeting in Kano also adopted some recommendations on ways to address major challenges facing the zone. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
The coming together of Northwest governors in Kano followed an earlier meeting in Katsina
where issues militating against the development of the zone were discussed. This time around, they deliberated on a presentation delivered by the Ario Research and Development Project on strategic agenda for the zone. It is an action plan that focuses on 6 sectors, including agriculture, industrialization, energy, mining, environment, and education. In a communique read by Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, the forum affirmed its commitment towards promoting unity and development.
We are working at least to build ourselves so that we can be able to stop importation of even the basic needs of wheat, that we are doing flours and rice, which we are working hard in collaboration with the federal government and the states.
While restating their support to President Muhammadu Buhari, the governors expressed optimism that the challenges being faced by Nigerians will soon be over in view of his administration's plans and strategies. The forum also commiserated with the governments and people of Kano and Kebbi states over the recent fire incidents at their major markets. Members of the forum include governors of Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Jigawa, and Kaduna states. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Air Secretary, Nigerian Air Force Air Vice Marshal Christian Indubisi Chukwu has advised participants of young officers' course to apply the knowledge they acquired in combating security challenges facing the nation. He stated this during the graduation of the Young Officers Course 4 at the Nigerian Air Force Ground Training Center, Kaduna. Muhammad Lal Baba completes this story.
Air Vice Marshal Ndebisi Chukwu said the course has exposed the participants to planning, preparations, and enriched their knowledge in leadership and tactical maneuver.
Nigerian Air Force has to be able to defend its bases. We have to be able to protect and secure the communities that are around. And you can't only do that from the air. You have to do it from the ground too.
He said the graduates will be a point of reference as far as norms and practices are concerned. Commandant Ground Training Center Air Commodore Abdul Ganiu Olaibisi called on the graduates to justify the reputation of the institute as a center of excellence.
It's a clear demonstration of the resolve of the current Nigerian Air Force leadership to ensure that these cadets are prepared to take up young officers' responsibilities from the one after their commission.
Participants that excel were awarded prizes. The Young Officers Course is a program designed in partnership with Imperial Consortium, a high caliber of retired experienced officers aimed at improving skills to reposition officers for higher responsibilities. In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
The Kaduna State Police Command has arrested 15 suspected kidnappers and armed robbers. Commissioner of Police Kaduna State Command Umar Shehu stated this at a news conference in Kaduna. Hassan Lol Shatima has the details.
The Commissioner of Police Umar Shehu said among the suspected kidnappers that were arrested, some have confessed to be notorious kidnappers who operate along Abuja-Kaduna Highway. Items recovered include ammunition, 2 AK-47 rifles, then guns and swords, as well as cutlass. Others were assorted charms, passport photographs, and foreign currencies.
We have reinforcement from Lagos and Abuja, and they are joining hands with us, and by God's grace, we are going to trap this suspect.
I
was dragged into the act by my friend, not because I prefer it. I'm not kidnapper, neither am armed robber. Above all, I did not request any ransom from anybody.
The Commissioner of Police has given the assurance that the command is determined to rid the state of criminal elements and urge the public to assist the police with useful information. In Kaduna, I am Hassan Lawan Shatima, NTA News.
It's back to you, Pemi, for more on the nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Suleiman. The National Youth Service Corps has described as false the rumor making rounds on social media that the monthly allowance of corps members has been reviewed to 14,800 naira from 19,800 naira. NYC Director, Press and Public Relations Abose Adderibigbe debunked the rumor at the NYC headquarters while fielding questions from correspondent Olayinka Ojo.
Refuting the rumor that the monthly allowance of Youth Corps members was downwardly reviewed due to the current economic situation in the country by 25%, NYC Director, Press and Public Relations, Mrs. Abose Adderibigbe said there is no reduction in Youth Corps members' allowance.
There is no truth in it. The Corps members' allowance has not been decreased. According to what they posted on the social media that the DG announced it, the DG cannot announce increase or decrease of Corps members' allowance. It has to come from the appropriate authority.
She appealed to Corps members to disregard the rumor.
We want to warn those who are involved that they should confirm statements from the NYSC. If the NYSC does not make any pronouncement, they should not carry rumor.
On our way out of the NYSC headquarters, we came across these Youth Corps members and sought to know what they came to verify.
I was shocked. I wasn't happy at all. So it was like a bad news to us.
Just got the news from the right source. It's not true. I'm very, very happy again to hear that it was a rumor.
It will be recalled that NYSC allowance was increased from 9,775 naira to 19,800 naira on July 2011. In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And from Olayinka, we'll be going to Benin, where Obehi is standing by for more stories making rounds in that zone. It's over to you, Obehi.
Hello, Femi. Thanks for joining us in Benin. Motorists in Benin are finding it difficult to purchase petrol. Udwakobong Achibong, who has been in town for an update on the situation, reports that although long queues are gradually reducing, filling stations are still dispensing the product at above the regulated price.
Some filling stations reveals that fuel is dispensed between 230 naira and 250 naira per litre.
I'm buying fuel at 230 per litre. That's terrible. I think it's a lack of will. I think it's a lack of cooperation. Private sector, government policies. For us, we don't care about what it is. Just fix it.
The NNPC mega station along Sapele Road has been without a product for 6 days now. Already frustrated by the development, motorists have decided to pitch their tents with the mega station as they lay siege pending when the product will be available at the station.
It is this place we come to every morning as if we are going to work. What? I keep coming to this place because elsewhere where I will get fuel is 250 naira per litre.
In the morning, one man will come and say they are expecting fuel, that we should wait. At the end of the day, the tanker will not come.
The chairman, Petroleum Monitoring Committee in the state, Mr. Amen Osunde, says from all indication the fuel crisis will soon be over, while appealing to the people to be patient with government.
We are also aware that yes, people sell above, they capitalize on the fact that there is scarcity, and they are selling for 200 and above, 220 and thereabout. It will fizzle out.
In Benin, Udwakobong Achibong, NTA News.
Almost 4 months after being declared the duly elected representative of Isako West 2 constituency in Edo State House of Assembly, the PDP member Silvanus Iraga has finally been sworn in as a lawmaker into the State House of Assembly. The development is expected to bring to an end the civil action against the Speaker, Victor Edoro, for failure to swear in the member. The report. 18th of December 2015, Mr. Iraga was declared the winner of the Isako West 2 seat by the appeal court in Benin. The judgment consequently sacked the APC lawmaker who occupied the seat. Despite being presented with his certificate of return by INEC, Mr. Iraga was not immediately sworn in, a delay that resulted in the member taking legal action against the Speaker, Victor Edoro. The months of controversy has, however, come to a rest, with the oath of membership and allegiance administered on Mr. Iraga under the watchful eyes of PDP State Chairman Chief Dan Obi and other PDP stalwarts. The Speaker, while officially welcoming Mr. Iraga to the House, said the Edo State House of Assembly will continue to uphold the rule of law as it is their constitutional duty. Shortly after the swearing-in ceremony, Mr. Iraga and Chief Dan Obi said the action is a victory for democracy. The swearing-in of Mr. Silvanus Iraga swells the ranks of the PDP lawmakers in the House from 3 to 4 members. All is set for the skill acquisition program of internally displaced persons at the camp in Uhogwa, as wife of the state governor has fulfilled her promise. She did not only dispatch those in charge of the skills acquisition to the camp, materials and machines for the training has been personally delivered by her. Agatha Igwarujo reports.
Needed for the training, experts from different training institutes are now in the camp to begin work. Items delivered include sewing machines, computers, gas cookers, among others. The IDPs will be trained to grow what they eat and produce almost everything they need to survive in camp. The displaced persons will be taught how to rear fish and snail, grow their vegetables, make their clothes, slippers, mats, bags, sandals, and various types of food, snacks, and drinks.
Soon,
yes,
Nigeria will be safe.
Amen.
If these children choose to go back to their various state, they can go back confident.
This is how it should be. That the government is responsive to the citizens of this country, and that we are impacting into their lives. In fact, we thank the First Lady.
The displaced persons who will not participate in the training program will be engaged in summer sports camp to also keep them busy during the holiday. In Uhogwa, Agatha Egwari Ojo, NTA News.
Bekuma community in Akoko Edo local government area of Edo State is now deserted after it was attacked by some youths of Ekpedo over alleged shooting of their son in the bush. Victor Odion Asha reports that several houses in Bekuma were razed, with the residents taking refuge in Langpesi. The report.
20 houses, including the Bekuma Primary School, as well as the palace of the traditional ruler, were razed by the ravaging youths from the neighboring Ekpedo community. It was gathered that the youths attacked the village following a rumor that one of them was shot in the bush, and without confirming the information, allegedly attacked the neighboring community as the case suspects.
With what happened yesterday, that they saw somebody killed inside the bush, and the person was even killed, not even in this very land of Bekuma, between Ekpe and Ugugu. Just because the person went to inform the vigilante was from reside in this place. Immediately the Ekpedo saw the boy, they concluded it was the Bekuma people that killed the very person.
These persons have vehemently and have consistently insisted that they are going to wipe out or alienate my community. And this, you understand, they have guided jealously.
There is high presence of various security agents in the area, while some of the residents were seen leaving the community with their belongings to seek shelter elsewhere. From Akoko Edo, Victor Odion Acha, NTA News.
That's our package, Femi. It's over to you now for the rest of the news. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Bei. And to religious matters now, as Catholic faithful mark the annual feast of Annunciation, the Church has again restated its strong opposition to abortion, describing it as a crime against humanity and God. Joy Huzo reports.
The Feast of Annunciation is to commemorate the day Angel Gabriel announced the news of the conception of Jesus Christ to Mother Mary. In line with the Catholic tradition, knights and ladies of St. Mulumba, Abuja Sub-Council came out in their colorful attire to celebrate this year's feast. Using the significance of the event, they stressed that the conception, birth and ministry of Jesus Christ clearly shows that abortion is evil against God and humanity.
It marks a moment when the angel Gabriel, as stated in the Gospel of St. Luke, appeared to our Blessed Mother, Virgin Mary, and pronounced the words of what in the Catholic Church we call the angelic psalter. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. At that moment, God became man in the womb of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Secondly, we are now promoting pro-life. You can see what's happening in these days. Abortion is the way of life.
To further buttress the significance of the human life, the celebrants emphasized that a rape victim who gets pregnant has no moral justification to abort the pregnancy, as it is a flesh and blood.
Life is sacred, and no one have right to take life.
There was a solemn procession round Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Pro Cathedral, Area 3, Gariki, Abuja, venue of the event to mark the day. Marked 25th March annually, this year's event was shifted to 4th April as it coincided with Good Friday. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
In another development, Christians have been reminded to live and also impact legacies as they pass through the planet Earth. This was the focus of the messages at the service of songs in honor of the late Bayelsa State Governor, Dipri Alamiesia, in Abuja. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that his body will be laid to rest on the 8th of this month in his hometown in Bayelsa State.
Death for Christians is an injunction that reflects nothing else but going home to be with God, where the bond of love will not be broken for eternity.
You begin to look at yourself.
The passing to glory of former Bayelsa State Governor, late Dipri Solomon Peter Alamesia, has been described as a great loss to the Ijaw people and the nation at large. Family, friends, and others who graced the occasion say late Alamesia served his people and the nation with all his heart, and that his death has created a vacuum difficult to fill.
A great Nigerian leader, a great leader of his people. He committed his opportunity to service to his people.
He also believed that democracy must have a face in Nigeria, which we fought for. That no one man should take away this democratic process.
But he was a great Ijaw man. We can't have somebody like him anymore, not for the nearest future.
He was down to earth, and he was uncompromising on issues that he believed in.
From Arigbo to Benin, to Akwa Ibom, to Ondo, to Rivers State, Delta, he united the people and built bridges across the nation.
With tributes and speeches by his contemporaries, it is obvious that the death of Alamesia is not the extinguishing of a light, but putting out of a lamp because the dawn has come. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And to global tidbits, where South African Parliament begins debate on impeachment of Jacob Zuma, plus Transparency International resigns following Panama Papers leak. These are more on global tidbits with Chimdima and the Busy.
Following the motion moved by opposition party Democratic Alliance for the impeachment of President Jacob Zuma against the backdrop of the Constitutional Court ruling of his disobedience in paying back government funds used to upgrade his personal home, the parliament has commenced debate in this regard. In Ethiopia, the drought situation, which has caused deaths due to starvation, has given way to flooding. This has also claimed the lives of at least 15 people. In another development, different global reactions have been trailing the latest leak of Mossack Fonseca's clients' documents, which named past and current leaders as well as heads of government as earning secret investments in the Panama-based company. United Kingdom's Labour leader has asked for individual investigation as the Prime Minister's late father's name, Ian Cameron, came up in the leaked document. Russia says the leak is targeted at not only its president, but the country. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Under sports now, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, has charged officers and men of the Nigerian Army not to be deterred by the activities of insurgents, as they are already mopping them up with a view to bringing it to a speedy end. Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf stated these at the first Governor's Cup Golf Tournament held in Niger State.
The first edition of the Governor's Cup Golf Tournament of Volcans Golf Club Kontagora, which drew participants from within and outside Niger State, was organized in honor of the State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello to provide recreation for officers and civilians in line with the Chief of Army Staff drive for officers to shape up. The Chief of Army Staff, represented by the Commander Training and Doctrine Command, MENA, Major General Mobalaji Koleso, commended the patron of Volcans Golf Club, Kontagora, Major General David Ahmadu, for deeming it fit to organize such a tournament. He also saluted the gallantry of the Nigerian Army and other security agencies in their fight against terrorism and insurgency.
The Nigerian Army, in collaboration with other sister services, the Nigerian Air Force and other security agencies, we are winning the firefight. We must find time to keep fit.
In order to keen with the Chief of Army Staff concept of shaping up, I decided to make the place lively for officers and even extended it to the community of Kontagora.
We know that the normal golf course is 18 hole and that of Kontagora is 9. It's a challenge. We'll make sure that improvement is done.
43 participants took part in the tournament that produced Sunday Joseph as the overall winner of the professional category, while Francis Akbama emerged victorious in Category 1 Amateur, and Colonel Michael John Okon won the Category 2 Amateur, as Teresa Johnson picked gold in Ladies Handicap. Some of the participants and dignitaries, including Minister of Defense Mansour Ali, were recognized during the occasion. From the Volcans Golf Course, Kontagora, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
We're still on sports as the Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, calls for more proactiveness on the part of the Nigerian Football Federation as the Nigeria Professional Football League also enters Week 10. Let's join Kene Magbudiki.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalong has directed the Nigerian Football Federation to work on a comprehensive roadmap that will help reorganize and maintain internal cohesion in the sport. Dalong, who emphasized this at a meeting with the NFF Executive Board Tuesday in Abuja, decried the dwindling fortunes of Nigerian football vis-a-vis the failure of the Super Eagles to qualify for the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations. The minister also directed that the salaries of the technical staff of the federation be paid.
The issue of a foreign coach was debated extensively, but it was still referred to the technical committee alongside the NFF to show cost why the option of a foreign coach is viable. If it is indeed viable, where do we get the source to fund it?
The Super Falcons had their last training Tuesday morning at the Abuja National Stadium before traveling to Senegal for the first leg 2016 Africa Women Cup of Nations final qualifier in Dakar on Friday, while the return leg comes up Tuesday next week.
We know what's at stake at the minute. Talking about the men's team, how everyone is sad about the condition now. So we try and put a smile on the faces of Nigerians. We promise to give our best.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Professional Football League enters Week 10 on Wednesday with Shooting Stars of Ibadan welcoming Ikorodu United, Rivers United tackle El Kalemi Warriors, Enyimba meet Warri Wolves, Lobby Stars take on Wiki Tourist, while Nasarawa United welcome Heartland. With Sports Update, Kenai Imabodike, NTA News.
And that's it on NTA Nationwide. My name is Femi Johnson. We thank you for joining us. Do join us for more reports that will be coming in our subsequent bulletins. Good afternoon.